All right, here we go now. We're on to season 10. Now, I didn't have much exposure to this season. The only episodes I watched the most were these four episodes and the last eight. And then I think there's like one or two episodes that I also watched in between. Is wait, this, 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 and yeah, and this as well. That's it. And for the rest, I didn't really watch much of it. And this is the only season to have 28 episodes. A lot of people said that season 10 was like the worst of those 8 to 12. But let's see if it really is. It is actually one it actually is the worst, but how I'm going to put the episodes into this, well, let's find out. Again, we're all starting off in production order. So let's kick things off with Thomas and the jet plane. Well, I had to be good. I'm going to be honest. Actually, was a. I'm good. It's going to be quite controversial. I'm going to put some of the episodes in positions, but I would put. Um, I would put at. Ooh, this would be very interesting. I'll just put it here. But this is only my personal preference. I love Thomas in the jet plane. I love the Thomas interaction with a jet plane. I think it's like the first time Thomas had interact with a different air vehicle other than Harold. And I love the story here. It's like he knew Jeremy is different from him and much different from Harold. He could see that. And I love like the whole story is like Thomas didn't dislike Jeremy, but then like in the later part, it's like Jeremy warned Thomas about a storm is going to ruin the picnic. Then he managed to fix the situation thanks to Jeremy's help. And it's quite a good story interaction of Thomas meeting a new character. I think personally, I think it's actually my favorite episode of Thomas with a new character of all time of the hit era. Next is a smooth ride. Well, I'm gonna put an average here because it's actually interesting. I found that this is Sahando's first appearance since season 4, and then that he suddenly made and then he made this comeback in season 10. It's kind of a surprise, and I like Sahando in this episode, but the but now they changed his character, which I think is like kind of pulled down it. It's a very good episode to bring back Sahando, but not really in a good way that we all thought would be. Next is Follow That Flaw. Yeah, I'm gonna put it back here because it's a good Thomas and James story, but I don't think it's actually not a very good Thomas and James story here. It's like Thomas caused confusion delay by taking the flower away and ultimately wasted the flower, and then James chased all the way, and then Thomas had to get a new batch of flower, and then ultimately asked James to help, even though he can just move one line of trucks to get that one flower. Like, yeah, it's kind of like boring it is, and it's not really good. Percy and the what am I supposed to say? Percy and the fun fair, or Percy and the carnival. So, I also put an average here because it's a very good story that involving a carnival. But like the only thing that dragged down is Percy like abandoning his job of delivering coal, and then wanted to help the others. Ultimately realized that coal was important because the engines had run out of coal. And then Percy just deliver the coal so that way the engines can deliver the stuff to the carnival. Yeah, but it actually is quite. I like this story. Next episode is Duncan drops a clanger. It's also going bad here. I think it's the only bad episode of involving Duncan, but I think it could be much more worse. Like Duncan just clanks along rock and roll, and then with the clanking of the bell, we're not strapped down properly, and Yeah, actually, I like Duncan Rock and Roll. That's his typical his character is, but like I don't think it's quite a good one. I'd say. Toby's afternoon off. Um, I'm gonna put in average here. Um, I would why I put average. I like the story of Toby's his afternoon off in this one. But why I like Toby suddenly like finding out that that Thomas, Salty, and Mavis just like saying that he got something else to do, and then Toby just like make a fuss over it. Then realize that they're all helping Henry, and then like the ending part is like it's just like Toby just want to help Henry out. It doesn't really make sense. Next episode is Thomas's Tricky Tree. Now I put it good here because it's actually the a very good episode in The Wolf, Thomas' interaction with the narrow gauge engines. And then I like the story is because like it's winter theme always, and then um the I like the part where Thomas is like having like didn't even care for the others as they were trying to tell him about the tree. Then Thomas find the tree but ultimately realized it wasn't the tree. Then like he had to get help. I think like he realized I think it's supposed to be like even though you are a big engine compared to the narrow gauge engines, but at least they are help at least you just if you have a problem like you can't find the tree, just ask them. You just ask. Yeah. Next episode is Good to Be Gordon. Now it's a lot of people said it was a good episode, and yeah, I do agree. It is one of the great episodes of season 10. It's like Gordon actually took Henry's special coal and then is going to soon to be set a record. But then Henry like struggling with regular coal, like it's just a ripped off continuity. And then like Gordon realized he has sympathy for Henry and then like abandon his record and just help Henry out. That's a good Gordon and Henry's episode. And then next up, Emily and the Special Coaches is definitely also going in the great and best here. It's actually I didn't realize it was actually a following up from It's Good to Be Gordon that we eventually realized that it was that Gordon actually did set a record here. And then Emily set out to give Gordon's gift. And then Diesel said yeah he did set a record, but like then like but Emily didn't listen and Diesel just do his devious deed as usual. And finally that Emily began to listen to Diesel that they realized that Diesel also deserved a gift for his special record. And then like at least like it's a good Emily and Diesel story. And it's actually the first time I think Emily interacts outside of the main 8 here and focus on like the one of the more famous side characters. It's a good story. I love it. Top of Thomas. Worse here. Got nothing else to say. It's a very bad Thomas story. But I like the Spencer appears in this one, but like the way the whole story is like is so ridiculous, and I got nothing else to say. It's really definitely one of the worst. Fearless Freddy. Go good here. I like I like the new characters in the hit era, and Fearless Freddy is one of my favorite characters. I love his character in this one. Like him racing down the hill with Scullery and Rhaenyra, which typical like their characters kind of completely childish. Love the story, and then like Freddy realized that Rhaenyra's got into trouble and then helped to find Rhaenyra, and then like it's a very good story involving Freddy. Shame he didn't actually appear much afterwards, but at least but there will be another role he get to appear in. Sticky Toffee Thomas. Now, I had much exposure to it, and I did know the story. Definitely I'll put it in the worst here, because as you like I said with Top of Thomas, it's like Thomas wants to be like I want to put on a costume, but like he just make a fuss over it and got into an accident, and then Thomas got into a sticky toffee situation, and then he took a shortcut through the forest, and then he got covered in a big bush. Like it's just like not so good. I don't like this one. Big Strong Henry. Ooh, this I'll definitely put here because I like Big Strong Henry. It's like this is like the first time like think I see that Henry showed a different side of Henry. Now he's like no longer like very fragile, inexperienced one. Now he wants to be determined to be like Gordon. And there's a good story of Henry wanted to do it, but then Gordon just put him down. And then Henry do it again, but got into a crash. Then Gordon got into a bit of a bother. So Henry managed to be helpful with Gordon's situation here. It's a good story of Henry. Finally, Henry had a good story since... Oh, that's been a long time. Seeing the Sights. Not much I would say. I didn't have much exposure to it, but I do... like. I would put it in... average here because it's a good story that I like. Thomas is like he accidentally abandoned his passengers in a rush, but like the story just dragged on. That's the only thing that I had noticed in this one. It's a very good. I like the Bertie even appears in this one, and I love the seaside appearance in it. Thomas and the Shooting Star now. I'm gonna also put an average here. I like the whole episode taking place at night, but Thomas just want to like taking different tracks instead of going straight ahead to the power station just to see the Shooting Star, and then Thomas like just completely just messed things up like for himself, getting himself lost in the process. I like the ending part where the Shooting Star suddenly glows like the sky, and then Thomas conveniently end up at the power station right in front of him. I like the ending part. It's like I like Thomas just like wishing that he could see, and then suddenly the Shooting Star came out of nowhere, and then they spread out the whole place, making his wish come true. At least could be like, well, it's quite good. Love it. Which way now? I'll put it here. Worse because Rusty is completely in character here. He forced the workmen to rush and then mixing up the signs in the process, and then realized that he made a mistake when everyone ended up in the wrong place. That's it. Toby's new shed. I'm gonna put it in good here. I like the Thomas and Toby's interaction. There's like you can see that Toby is wet. You see the roof is ruined. Then Thomas fixed it, but only realized that Toby wanted the roof to be broken because the birds it was also the birds' home, and then Thomas fixed the mistake by fix his situation. With the broken wood and turn it into a birdhouse. It's a very good story. I like it here. Love this one. Edward strikes out. Oh, this one is quite controversial to a lot of the people out there. With that Edward is completely in a character. Where am I gonna put it? Oh, this will be very tough. If I'm gonna put bad here or worse, or I'm gonna put average here. I love the new character Rocky in this one. It's like Rocky. I think like Rocky is made specifically to carry even more heavier engines than Harvey. The breakdown train doesn't appear. Where am I gonna put this? You know what? I'm gonna make a controversial position. Average here. Well, why I put in this one is like I like the character Rocky, and I quite like Edward. I think like I don't know why. Like I think Edward really does. I don't know why. Like Edward's like even though completely out of character, but he like I like the ending part is like he realized he shouldn't have listened to Gordon and then like just go off and help and get Rocky to put everything right. Well, that's the only thing that I put it in average here. And also I love the new character Rocky. Thomas's frosty friends. Is it going to be worse or bad? You know, I'm going to make another controversial placement. I'll put it in... You know what? Even though it's a very good like snowy episode, I like the snow stories, but I'm gonna put it here. Yes, worse. Well, you may think I'm gonna put in the bad here, but definitely worse because like I can see it's a good one, but like Thomas just like completely doesn't know that it's actually a balloon and thought it was real. Like, what is wrong with this Thomas in this one? Next is Wolf and Peace. You know what? I think it's quite. I think it's. Well, I'm gonna put it in good here because I think it's like this. I think is when I look at the story in this one, like Scarlet is scared of the wolf. I would imagine that I think Scarlet's first appearance of the wolf, and then like for the longest, I think like some people. I mean, some people like old or young can be scared to new things. And Scarlet's first time to the wolf, and then see everything's like big and bustling, and like Scarlet's never used to it before, and one thing I like is that Scarlet just bravely went in front of him to save Rhaenyra. That is a good moment, this one. And then Scarlet realized that he is brave after all. He finally learns like I think like it's like you just need to stand up to yourself in this one. Thomas, and now we're into the last 8 here, which I have more fun of it. Memories of it. Thomas and the colors. Oh, I'm gonna put it in great here. I like this episode, but like Thomas and James banter one, it's better than Follow That Flower. Well, I love like James is putting on the team colors, and then like Thomas tried to convince him to let he wants to have a go in this one, but then like got into a bit of a bother with James thanks to her carelessness, and then like he and then had to help with the fix James situation, with the ending with the children going to the sports day event. Missing trucks. Good here. Good, like I like Rhaenyra's in this. Like this is a very good like Rhaenyra's story in this one. Rhaenyra's helping Scarlet in this one by helping him by just doing it as a surprise for him, and then like he actually lost the trucks, and then like he tried to fix his mistake. But I'm gonna have to be honest. Like why I put in good here because like it just kind of drags on. I know this in this one. Thomas and the birthday mail. It's I'm gonna put it in good here. Because like Thomas and the mail I love this story. It's a wet episode, a rainy episode in this one. You see, like Thomas is determined to deliver the birthday mail to Alice up at High Farm, and then we've encountered with Rosie, the new engine here. Wanted to help, but like Thomas is like annoyed with her, but then like finally accepts her help. Duncan's bluff, definitely going in is definitely one of the best. Love Duncan and James banter in this one. Both of them are the same in the same attitude, and this time they're doing full on against each other, and it's a very good ending where they both good ending like the both of them do like even though they're like the same in every way, but they're still really useful. Thomas and the treasure. You know what I think? I love this one. It's definitely my personal bet, but my personal grade in this one. I love like Thomas listened to Salty's story, and then like he was determined to find the treasure. Where they find the treasure, although the others don't think that it thinks it's just a story, but Thomas was determined to find it, and he found the clue, and he found the treasure right at the museum, and with the admiral was there at the ending part. It's a very good story. It's a very good story in this one. This is like Thomas like on a quest, like a Thomas quest story. The green controller. Ooh. I'll put it in average here because like it's quite different. Like the Fat Controller is putting Percy of all engines in charge of this, and Percy mixed up the engine's jobs. It's like it's quite funny in this one, but at the same time it's like boring. Now the next two extra ones is James the second best. Definitely going up here. It's one of the best. I love like James and Edward's banter ones involving like James jealous that he wants the same position as Edward. Then he got his wish by getting into a bit of a crash with the poster. And then like when Edward got broken down that he needs help. So James offers to help in admitting that both of them are still really useful and like still like the best. Next is Thomas and Scarlewy's big day out. Definitely going up here. Love Thomas and Scarlewy's interaction in this one. And then you see like Thomas want to take Scarlewy on a place that Scarlewy never seen before. Then he did get to see it at the beach, which I love the part where love this one. Thomas and Scarlewy was like it's one of the few moments where Thomas interacts with all him and Scarlewy all alone, just the main characters, and that's both of them did like I think it's like one of the few best Thomas centric stories with a side character involved in it. And then we're done with season 10. Whoa, it's kind of interesting. So let's see. We got 9 best or great ones, and we got 6 good, and then we got 7 average, even the controversial one, which strikes out, 2 bad, and 4 worse. You know, I know there were like some episodes, like some of them are kind of in a controversial position, but I'm gonna have to give it a pass. But like, at least there's some good ones. There's some hidden good ones in it that makes them like outstanding. Thing even though it's bad. Yeah. This is overall on season 10. It's not looking at it. It actually is a not really. It's actually 50-50 on edge of good and bad. So we're 3 down, we're 2 to go. I hope thank you for watching. I'll see you for season 11.